confident about what's possible. And a lot of you say you watch.
She didn't just perform, she defined a generation, reshaped celebrity culture, and turned ambition into a lasting empire. Diana Ross isn't merely one of the most recognizable voices in music, she's an enigma cloaked in elegance, drive, and debate. From modest roots in Detroit to squaring off with the biggest names in the industry, her path has been anything but ordinary. But behind the fame lies a world the public rarely sees. And what's beneath the polished surface might just surprise you. Because while audiences saw a radiant icon, they didn't witness the behind-the-scenes maneuvering, the personal battles, or the rumors that constantly swirled around her. The true Diana Ross story is about more than just her voice. It's about endurance, reinvention, and a legacy built on carefully guarded secrets. And once you uncover what unfolded off stage, your view of her may never be the same. Before the fame, she was simply a teen with dreams of fashion design, sketching outfits in a Detroit classroom. Diana Ross attended Cass Technical High School, where she studied tailoring and design, envisioning a career in style, not superstardom. But her true training ground was in church choirs and on street corners, where her passion for music took root. At 15, she joined the Primettes, a group that was mostly overlooked. Still, she pushed on, using any connection she had, including help from Smokey Robinson, to get noticed by Motown. Once they got in the door, Ross made sure they stayed there. The group helped out around the studio, clapping on background tracks and doing whatever was needed to stay on Motown's radar. In 1961, their persistence paid off. Motown offered them a contract with one condition: they had to change their name. When Barbara Martin left a year later, Diana stepped into the lead alongside Mary Wilson and Florence Ballard. That's when the Supremes were born, and music history changed. With 12 #1 hits and a fashion-forward image, they were more than a band. They became cultural icons. Ross's decision to go solo wasn't just career advancement, it was a strategic move for total dominance. Her debut solo project was a smash, featuring Ain't No Mountain High Enough and Reach Out and Touch Somebody's Hand. But behind the scenes, power was shifting. In 1980, after 20 years with Motown, she walked away with a $250,000 payout and stunned the industry by inking a then-record $20 million deal with RCA. It was the biggest contract of its time, showing she didn't just want fame, she wanted command. But her personal life was far more complicated. Her romantic involvement with Motown's Berry Gordy resulted in a secret. Her daughter, Rhonda, born while Diana was already married to another man. Robert Silberstein, her husband, knowingly raised Rhonda as his own. Later, a very public DUI. Arrest in 2002 while attending rehab clashed hard with her carefully cultivated image. Yet, through every controversy, Ross pushed forward, controlling her narrative, guarding her privacy, and keeping the spotlight exactly where she wanted it. Her relationships were as complex as her rise to stardom. Her marriage to music executive. Robert Silberstein brought 2 daughters, Tracy and Chudney, and the appearance of a stable home life. But behind that facade was the truth about Rhonda's paternity, which both Silberstein and Ross chose to keep private for years. Afterward, Diana had a brief romance with Gene Simmons from Kiss, but the relationship fizzled quickly. Her second marriage, to Norwegian shipping heir Arne Naess Jr., seemed like the real thing. They wed in 1986 and welcomed 2 sons, Ross Arne and Evan. The storybook image didn't last. Whispers of cheating plagued the marriage, and in 2000, they divorced. Just 4 years later, Naess tragically died in a climbing accident in South Africa. Still, Diana remained the cornerstone of a growing family legacy. Her son Evan married pop singer Ashlee Simpson, making Diana step-grandmother to Ashlee's son with Pete Wentz. Her children found their own ways into the public eye. Even off the stage, Diana Ross was always building her brand through family, fortune, and a quiet control that never wavered. In an industry where stars rise and fall quickly, Ross built something more powerful: longevity. From hit records to blockbuster films, she didn't just survive changing trends, she led them. With more than 90 singles, over 20 albums, and decades of accolades, she transcended entertainment. And perhaps her greatest skill wasn't performing, it was staying elusive in a world obsessed with overexposure. Now worth an estimated $250 million, with a sprawling Connecticut mansion and a fleet of luxury cars, Ross lives like royalty, but avoids the arrogance often associated with it. She's donated to causes, used her voice in key moments, and continued performing well into her 70s. But the one thing she's never done is open the door fully to her personal world. And maybe that's why she's endured. Diana Ross didn't just weather fame, she mastered it. And after 5 decades in the spotlight, one thing remains clear: the world still can't look away.